Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to welcome you all and thank you for joining us this morning. Today's roundtable has been organised as part of our efforts to support entrepreneurship in Dubai and address some of the pain points that ecosystem players of incubators, accelerators, co-working spaces and government initiatives go through. Joining us today are the key stakeholders from Dubai's entrepreneurial ecosystem, and we look forward to hearing from you on your perspectives about how we can work together to better change the needs of the startups in this market. Before we dive into the presentation and business of the day, I would like to invite Mr. Atiq Nasib, Senior Vice President of Commercial Services at Dubai Chamber, to give his welcome remarks.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. وسعد الله صباحنا وصباحكم بكل خير. A very good morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Dubai Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I would like to convey the regards of our President, His Excellency Hamad Mubarak Bouamein, and the staff and management of the Dubai Chamber of Commerce, and welcome you to this roundtable of entrepreneurship ecosystem of 2020. We have organized this roundtable for several reasons, and first, we are glad to have you all around with us this morning. As this roundtable, it will offer an ideal opportunity to engage with key stakeholders who support the growth of development of Dubai entrepreneurial ecosystem, includes incubators, accelerators, and entities providing co-working space for the startups. There's another reason why we are here today is to create a new platform for constructive dialogue, knowledge sharing, and cooperation between public and private sector players with an aim of identifying the new businesses opportunities of interest to the local startup community for the upcoming year. It also provides a good chance to formalize participant with the various initiatives and programs that are offered under Dubai Startup Hub, which serves as the engine driving Dubai Chamber's entrepreneurial strategy forward. Established in 2016, Dubai Startup Hub is the first initiative of its kind in the Middle East and North Africa region. The initiative provides clarity and guidance to entrepreneurs throughout their journey, while it also leverages the public-private sector partnership to promote innovation, develop Dubai entrepreneurial ecosystem. Through Dubai Startup Hub and this roundtable, we hope to work more closely with our partners to provide the new benefits to Dubai maturing, fast-growing startup community. Despite the challenges posed by COVID-19 this year, the pandemic has created new business opportunities in a number of sectors, which startups are now capitalizing on. In fact, Startup Hub recorded a 236% year-over-year surge in membership during the first half of 2020. As rapid digital transformation led many startups in Dubai to innovate and bring new solutions and technologies to the market, especially within the e-commerce, fintech, artificial intelligence, and health tech sector. Going forward, startups and SMEs are expected to play much bigger role in supporting Dubai's innovation strategy and digitally driven economy in the post of COVID era. We are seeing growing interest in the past. We are seeing growing interest in the part of international startups that are keen to leverage in Dubai as a hub to expand their reach. A great example is the first ever Dubai Technology Tour, which we organized a few months ago. The virtual trade mission achieved its objectives of attracting high potential Indian scale-ups from the health tech, the fintech spaces, and its success is a sign of Dubai strengthened position itself as a global innovation hub. We also recently launched a Scale Up Dubai program, an extension of market access that provides in-depth and knowledge guidance and tailored support to fast startup or scale-ups as they look to take their business to the next level and expand beyond border. Ladies and gentlemen, your participation today reflects a strong commitment to further developing Dubai's startup landscape and providing entrepreneurs with the right knowledge, tools, and opportunities they need to thrive and grow. Today's brainstorming session will certainly shed light on resources that are currently available to startup in Dubai, as well as prospects for expanding support this committee in the future. I look forward to forthcoming presentations and discussions that will create a new roadmap that will help guide startups as they navigate a fast changing business landscape over the next year. I think this is a good opportunity for the entrepreneurs and startups to sit together to discuss issues related together that are currently going through, I would not say a tough situation, because this era of the pandemic has given us a chance to further look into opportunities. There are times when we think there are bad times, but the smart ones of us will always take advantage of those times and change them to a better time. And I don't think there is a better people that could turn these opportunities to a positive opportunities and take advantage of them beside the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are the key bone of the businesses and the future. We believe also that innovation will play a big part into the upcoming future. I wish you a pleasant day, and thank you for giving me, on behalf of the Dubai Chamber, the chance to speak to you this morning, and look forward to seeing you again in some other meetings. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atiq. Allow me to take you through the agenda for this morning. So first up, we have the 7 Lessons of 2020 by Natalia Sichova, Senior Manager of Special Projects and Entrepreneurship. We will then pass the mic over to Omar Khan, Director of our International Offices, to discuss the key markets to expand to in 2021. We will move on to the partnership interview moderated by Faisal Shehi, also Project Manager of Entrepreneurship, followed by our ecosystem perspectives by both Raja Al-Mazuri, EVP of DIFC FinTech Hive, and Claudia Mortimer, COO of STEP. We will then be opening the floor to an open discussion where we invite you to ask everybody that is with us today any questions you have about collaborations for next year. And then, of course, we will move on to the close of our session. So as probably most of you know on the call this morning, Dubai Startup Hub is Dubai Chamber's entrepreneurship arm. We offer a wide range of programs and initiatives designed to support both the local and international startup communities. And here to tell us more about the platform is Natalia Sachova, again, Senior Manager of Special Projects and Entrepreneurship at Dubai Chamber. Thank you. Over to you, Natalia.
Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you very much. So, dear colleagues, very good afternoon and good morning, probably still. In the next 15 minutes, together with you, we will elaborate on some of the key lessons that we as an entrepreneurship initiative in Dubai have learned throughout 2020, along with sharing some of the insights, market sentiments that we've collated through the delivery of our programs in year 2020. And I do believe that those will be helpful for our further discussion later today. So we will start with saying that in today's presentation, we will keep things real, just the way we always tell to our customers, entrepreneurs, and founders. Let's talk about our business challenge. Just have a look at this lovely picture in the left. This is this happy team enjoying the old good times. Obviously, in the Q1 2020, this lovely team had to face the challenge of how to create the new good times, battling the challenge of how to deliver our programs that we have committed to with our constituents and our customers, how to maintain the same level of the team performance that we had before, and finally had to deal with the frustration and sometimes apathy from our customers, both entrepreneurs and the corporates. So if we go to the next slide. So as Dubai Chamber, even prior to COVID and lockdown, we had a very solid business continuity plan in place. So the transition to work remotely and adjust to the new realities have been fairly smooth and efficient. And the team spirit was high, and there was even though that kind of enthusiasm, let's take on this new challenge, let's adjust, let's prove that we can deliver in the new reality. However, in two, three weeks, when we were right in the delivery of the programs and adjusting to the new norm, we started to feel that we are actually running a challenge of being very efficient. It was environment when you automatically, mechanically do task in, task out, which is great for the business, but at the same time, you start feeling you're losing the sense of belonging to the organization. You inevitably start losing the sense of organization missions, why you work for this specific organization. Because as we all know probably that the cultural values of the company and the mission of the company, they're not translated through the big presentation or the video that you could share through the online channels. It's about those small chit chats that people have with the colleagues in the elevators, next to the water cooler, or next to the coffee machines. This is where the sense of belonging and team spirit is coming from. So since we have to be entrepreneurial, we adjusted very quickly to the workload that we already had in delivering the programs. We as a team, we introduced a number of weekly activities that will bring us back together and bring us as human beings together, not just as co-workers who execute the task in the most efficient way. We played trivias. We had lots of laugh about that. We even exercised together, and you could probably see how we all counting the calories being in the lockdown and trying not to gain too much weight in that situation. So I think the main lesson when it comes to the team performance was that you invest early enough in your team and the tools, so you don't have to doubt, you don't have spare the energy on figuring out where the people are working and what they're working on while being offsite and remotely. Rather, watch out and be careful how you maintain the team spirit and cultivate the corporate culture values that you have in your organization. Then the next challenge, the program's delivery. So before we go into programs delivery, I would like to put us in the situation and outline where the lockdown caught us in terms of our commitment to the market, to our customers. February, March 2020, we have just announced top 50 Smartpreneur alumni who were eager to enroll in the comprehensive bootcamp and then to go through the rounds of pitching events and then the big event. We have just announced top 30 finalists of the Emirati Development Program, the brand new program that Dubai Chamber jointly launched with Dubai Silicon Oasis and DTech, with 30 amazing Emirati talented people waiting to be enrolled and be present and interacting with their peers and mentors. And last but not least, we already announced the cycle 2 of the market access program, with corporate organizations sitting out there with their requirements for the procurement needs that should be filled by the technology startups from around the world, and many more. This is just to outline the few. And if we go to the next slide, we'll see what general expectation of our customers was from Dubai Chamber and Dubai Startup Hub. This is how our Q2 and Q3 was supposed to look like. Obviously, nothing of that could be materialized because we were where we were. We adjusted fairly quickly. We haven't canceled any single program or any single commitment to our customers. On the opposite, we doubled down and introduced new avenues and channels to deliver more value, but leveraging the virtual means and platforms. And in the next very quick video, we will demonstrate how the cycle 2 matchmaking event, the first fully virtual matchmaking event of Dubai Chamber took place. If we can play that video. We don't have sound, Kim. If we'll just go back. Still very low. That's part of it. We haven't nailed it how to deliver presentation about our fully virtual event, but we promise by the next year, 2021, we will definitely do that. But maybe we can go back to the previous slide and then run it again. Yep. The sound is very, very poor still. I think what we will do, how about that? If we carry on with the presentation and then maybe we will, if we have the time in the end, we'll get back and try it again, because I think it's experience worth sharing. So, but the lesson that we've learned during the delivery and adjustment of the program to fully virtual format was that, colleagues, we are actually very, very fortunate. Our sector, if I can call entrepreneurship as a sector and technology startup as a sector, we work with the customers and constituents who are very technology savvy. So there was no question, there was no challenge from the customers to be able to use those new means and channels. And probably in many instances, they were even more savvy than some of us. For instance, me. So with that, right, we could say that 2020 for Dubai Chamber's entrepreneurship programs have been a fruitful year. Just before the end of the first half of the 2020, we have served more than 1,200 entrepreneurs, which equals to the total number of entrepreneurs who have gone through our programs in the prior year for the full 2019. And by now, we're already in December, we can say that more than 1,600 have gone through our programs. We hosted dozens of webinars and we completed the delivery of 8 full programs. With that, again, and the promise of being very real with the peers on this call, the challenge we faced was the customer engagement, the startup founder engagement with our programs, and in general with with the initiatives across the board. What you see this chart, it's not a very precise chart. There is no particular formula embedded in the plot. However, it just to showcase that we experience a very interesting dynamic from the startup engagement, because I want to remind you that Dubai Chamber in many instances and historically have been serving as a first touch point for many entrepreneurs to be, and especially international companies, international innovators and investors, when they are pondering about MENA market, pondering about Dubai, they get in touch with Dubai Chamber customer service or customer center, or with Dubai Startup Hub dedicated team, and asking the wild range of questions of where to start, who is who in the ecosystem, and so on. So what we've seen, the dynamic of the engagement of the entrepreneurs and investors, the regulars, I would say. So obviously in the Q1, end of Q1 and end of Q2, it was very low activity happening in the market, because I think everybody was very frustrated about the prospect, about the personal issues and how individually adjust to the new reality of the lockdown. Also, the uncertainties existing in the market, and uncertainties about the business prospects and the investments. We saw the uptick and the enthusiasm during the summertime. And together with the team, we actually concluded that summer 2020 has been the busiest summer since the inception of Dubai Startup Hub for us, in terms of the interaction and program delivery and how much inquiries we received. Things started to slow down somewhere end of August, which is usually natural, because you would expect that people going on the holidays. But after that activity and engagement hasn't picked up in September, it was the symptom that people are generally tired. People like we've interacted even with a series serial entrepreneurs of the engagement, where we were trying to engage them in the business development activity, like to do the extra hand holding for them, because in many instances, Dubai Chamber, Dubai Startup Hub, we moved to the manual switch to help those most active entrepreneurs with a lot of hand holding activity was taken care of this year. And so September, October, November was exceptionally low season in terms of engagement, in terms of the inquiries. So definitely the positive signs we see lately with the very end of November and December. Again, we haven't done analysis, quantitative analysis about what are the key drivers of that. There is a multiple factors for that. It's a general, the vaccine news. This is the GITEX probably played a significant role of attracting more attention to the entrepreneurial scene, and UAE-Israel agreement and the prospects around it, and how the excitement that investors and technology startups both equally share about it. So it's interesting dynamic. So during the discussion later, during the open discussion time, we would love to hear from you if this is something that you personally have experienced as well while delivering your programs as well. So a few more observations that we've seen in the market. Interesting one when we talk about sustainability. As you probably all know that the Smartpreneur competition this year, next slide please, was dedicated to the themes of Expo 2020 and focused on working and identifying the most promising startups in environmental field, education, sustainability, general sustainability field. And we both with you know that historically sustainability focused ventures, they often come as more vulnerable to the market dynamics. And that's why we were genuinely concerned whether all the top 50 finalists that we announced in February, by the time of the final event and the big pitch in the end of August, whether some of them, all of them will be still in business. Because again, keeping in mind that predominantly this is early stage companies. To our greatest surprise, relief, and joy, all top 50 finalists of Smartpreneur competition, they were not just in business by September 2020, but they were growing business in 2020. This is a very interesting insights that we received, and I would love to hear more from the people on this call who actually focus in their work in incubation of sustainability focused ventures, whether this is the same sentiment that you've seen in the market. The next observation that we've seen, it's around the Emirati talent development and engagement. As some of you know, earlier this year, and I actually already pointed at that, we actually launched the brand new Emirati Training and Mentorship Academy together with our partners from DSO and DTAC. And we've actually seen two trends develop in the year 2020. We've seen how the older age-wise entrepreneurs, Emirati entrepreneurs, they actually pivoted back to their governmental work. We've seen those transitions, a number of them. At the same time, we actually saw the spike and enthusiasm of the student cohort of the potential entrepreneurs and early stage entrepreneurs. And those 30 alumni that we graduated right now, they still keep working and pushing hard on their ventures. With that, that was very encouraging sign for us in terms of further delivering and expanding the Emirati development program in 2020 and also in year 2021. So the next trend that we'll speak, and probably we could all acknowledge that Dubai has built successfully the brand of the test bed of the cutting edge technologies from around the world. Dubai is the destination for entrepreneurs to come and test their ideas and solutions. And Dubai proved that even during the lockdown, we're very much open for business as a city, as the Emirate. And not surprisingly that throughout 2020, in our core programs, more than 50% of applicants, very solid growth stage companies, they actually came from the overseas. So which we could say that we with you are very fortunate to be part of the part of this city, part of this emirate, and with our work contribute back to strengthening this brand. So, and then while we were delivering the programs both for the local Emirati talent, for non-Emirati talent based here and from overseas, we've seen the repeating trends of the same questions being asked all over again. And the general inquiry that we received, can I get the most relevant and the most updated information? Because there are so many things have been changing in this year. Regulatory landscape has been changing significantly. The measures introduced by the government have been evolving and accumulating. So what brought us, if we go to the next slide, what brought us to the idea that we have to increase our investment in building the knowledge hub for entrepreneurs and startups. And this is where Dubai Chamber, Dubai Startup Hub, we launched an extra set of dedicated publications, 8 sector guides, 2-3 pages, how to start your fintech, health tech, education tech, sustainability focused technology company in Dubai, along with we continue delivery and publication of the panorama reports. It's a quarterly publication with bird eye view on who is who in the ecosystem, key players, key programs, what's available in the market. And in just 2 days, we'll be launching the last quarterly publication of this year, and we'll hope to see yourself and your peer community attending that webinar as well. So that's all. I think at that point, these are all some of the key lessons that we as initiative focused on the entrepreneurship have learned this year, and insights that we've accumulated. Now, in the next slide, I want to pause and reflect a little bit more about the challenges that we've learned from our ecosystem. Again, I remind you that by now, since 2016, we have served more than 8,000 entrepreneurs who have gone through our programs. And this year alone, the number is more than 1,600. So this year, what kind of challenges our customers have been facing? The sentiment has been changing. Whilst early in the year, when we have been running a number of polls, of surveys, interviews, in May 2020, the key challenges and frustrations were around cash, managing cash flow, paying the expenses, and some entrepreneurs voicing the question of adapting the business model. That frustration is very understandable, because at that point it was not clear whether there will be still appetite from the investors to invest in technology startups. However, the end of H1, when across the board, internationally and locally, we actually sum up the number of investment that have been made in H1. We saw that the appetite, the investment hasn't stopped, and actually in MENA region, the total investment invested in technology startup in the UAE in for H1 was about 95% of the total investment done in prior year 2019. Partially, it's explained by the fact that most of the solid startups and entrepreneurs, they actually convinced their investors who already invested in them in the previous rounds to inject extra cash to cope with the pandemic and go through the year 2020. So, and this is where the questions about cash management and managing, collecting the expenses, paying the expenses, collecting the receivables, have somehow got less accentuated by August. And when in September we did similar polls and interviews, the common thread and frustration was about the supply chain vulnerability. Because as we've seen, right, year 2020 is definitely a year of the e-commerce for us as consumers on the receiving side, and also for the companies who have adjusted, even those from brick and mortar sector, they actually became e-commerce players as well. So, but supply chain definitely was one of the pain points that startups and founders discovered later in the year. And definitely, whilst we have been interviewing dozens of and polling hundreds of startups throughout the 2020, majority of the solid serial entrepreneurs, they actually responded positively to the question whether they have introduced a new service or product in the year 2020. So 2020 is obviously the year of new services and new products. A few more challenges that we've heard from the startups. Many more have questioned the actual necessity and mandatory nature of the office space for technology companies. Nearly on every call, we heard the question, why do we need it? We also have seen how a number of startups and ventures initially based in Dubai or based overseas interested in the UAE, they relocated to Abu Dhabi, or they have actually opened the second office in Abu Dhabi, ADGM. Again, this is very much attributed to the proactive policy of Abu Dhabi government and to the attractive package that the Emirate introduced to technology startups and innovators. And then lastly, again, if we call 2020 a year of the health tech technology, we shouldn't wear just the rosy glasses, because in our experience, we've seen how many technology health tech startups, they actually had some challenges of communicating with the regulators and getting their approvals and permits in the cost-effective way to pilot and to run their business locally. So this is some challenges and frustrations that our stakeholders, our customers have shared with us. But again, I want to go back to the point of the need of new services and products. And prior to this event, we actually had a privilege of interacting with each of participants individually, and we actually collated some of the challenges that incubators, accelerators, co-working spaces have experienced in the year 2020. And the common theme was also the need of new services and new products from us as an ecosystem to further support entrepreneurs and startups and serve Dubai better. So, and in the next slide, probably the answer, how we create new services and products, maybe through more collaboration. And that's hopefully what we will discover and discuss later today as well. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Kim, back to you.
Many thanks, Natalia, for the informative presentation. And as you may know, Dubai Chamber has a strong international presence as it operates 11 representative offices around the world. Here to share his insights on the key markets is Mr. Omar Khan, Director of our international offices at Dubai Chamber. Welcome, Omar.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Kim. Well, good morning and good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all safe wherever you are. I'm very happy to be presenting and speaking a little bit about the international offices in certain markets and what we've picked up in terms of the experience and what we can offer you as well as our network grows.
His presentation's disappeared.
It's okay. I can stream it from my side if you'd like.
If you can, please.
Sure, no problem.
Just facing some technical issues on this side. Thank you.
One moment, let me just, it's disabled for me. Can you enable it?
Yes, no problem. Let me see if I can from my side. Can you share now?
Yes, I can indeed. Here we go. Can everybody see that?
Yes. Excellent.
Okay. All right, we'll go to the slideshow. All right, well, let me, is it in full screen yet? Or, sorry.
Not yet, but it.
All right, there we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now that that's out of the way, it's really great to be speaking here today to talk about what we've been up to on your behalf. We have 245,000 members, and it's very difficult to serve everybody all the time, but we do our best with many different initiatives, such as my colleagues were talking about in terms of entrepreneurship and startup. Today, I'm going to talk about the chamber and what I always call it, it's the most connected chamber. We're very lucky and very blessed to have, we're in a very active country that is constantly promoted, and then an even more active city of Dubai. And we have 245,000 members in a very vibrant business community, very attractive community. And with that, there's so much going on here that it's like a river of opportunities that sometimes is a bit too much. But to help you manage some of these opportunities and stay connected and stay up to date to what is relevant, Dubai Chamber is working with all our partners around the world to keep you connected. And we always ask ourselves, what does a chamber have? You know, companies that manufacture cars, they have products, spare parts. Other companies have talent. If it's a service industry, some people have software. What does a chamber have? And it's very important. It's contacts, it's connections, it's relationship, intelligence, and also opportunities. But it's very important that there's a little layer of trust that is at the foundation of this. And it's trust in what we bring to you from a trusted source. And it's trust what we take to our partners as well, again, from a trusted source. So that's the foundation that we build on. And there's so many opportunities that we see as sort of spectators of what's going on in terms of the world of business, the news, the developments. Now, in terms of our activities, before we set up the offices, we were very active being in Dubai. We've welcomed, in 2019, over 2,456 delegations from all over the world, from 37 countries, and it's slowly increasing. And I think if you count the electronic interactions, it's probably even more. And when we could travel before COVID, we've visited 34 countries and been in 64 cities and covered 109 events. So again, Dubai is already a magnetic city when it comes to trade, innovation, tourism, marketing, a platform to test things. So that's already there, but we should not be satisfied with just what comes to us. We should actually spread our nets globally. And that's why the chamber has been active in looking at what's going on, whether it's in the developed markets or in developing markets, because we want to act as a gateway. We want to attract or magnetize developed worlds to bring themselves here. And then we also want to help them take their products, once they're here, take it to the relevant emerging markets where they're needed. And there's so many ways this Dubai can act as a facilitator. But to also cover a little bit of what we've been doing in terms of the international world and the international markets, we've set up the Association Center. This is a way to bring businesses and sectors wholesale, to bring their chapters here for the UAE or even for the Middle East, Africa. So we have some chapters here that are even global, to bring their regional or global events as well, annual events here. Again, this is another cross-section that we bring to your doorstep as a Chamber of Commerce. And the Association Center is in partnership with Dubai Chamber, Dubai Tourism, and Dubai World Trade Center. So again, in terms of our own babies of events that we organize, we have the Global Business Forum platform. And I'll tell you why I'm highlighting all these high-level events for you. Of course, the Global Business Platform that you see here is the one for Panama. We have also the one for Africa. I mean, we bring the creme de la creme of C-suite executives. We've also started to bring some startups and entrepreneurs. We definitely believe in involving the youth, They should have a chapter to write on in terms of writing their own history and future. In the last Africa Global Business Forum, we had that, and very innovative platforms addressing challenges and opportunities in Africa. So the Global Business Forums are the high-level events where we connect the worlds at the high level. Of course, we're going to be doing this in Expo. We're going to have a special edition, 3 of which will cover 3 regions. The first, of course, is ASEAN. Will be the first for the ASEAN region. These are all the regions that are kind of overshadowed in between India and China in Asia. So Thailand, Cambodia, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, Philippines. Of course, we'll have the 6th Global Business Forum and also the 4th LATAM Global Business Forum. Now, you could say, I was asked, oh, which are the interesting areas to expand to? And I would say there is no limitations. It's important to know what you want and where you could fit in which market. But literally, because of our connectivity by air, by cargo, air cargo, by shipping, and even 200 nationalities being here, you are not limited or constrained in logistics. So it's depending on the opportunity that you can find. Of course, we're engaged on high-level events and work with our partners for the Retail Summit, the World Chamber Congress, which the president is a chairman of, which has 12,000 chambers. So I was talking about our networks. They're very wide. And of course, again, we set up the offices, which I'll go to the map soon, to explore on your behalf. And why I say, people ask me, well, why set up? You know, there's the internet, there's news channels. I say, look, a lot of the news channels and publications, they publish general news and sometimes negative news if a hurricane hits somewhere, or they might not talk about the free continental trade agreement all the time and what's happening. They might not talk about new regulations for labor in Brazil in the pipeline. They might not talk about the new logistics parks that has been set up by Dubai Ports World in a new region, and implications that it could have for Dubai companies. So there are many different opportunities that are not enough on the ground for you to think of them as relevant. So that's why we put our offices there. So we get contacts, we facilitate B2B, we have study missions. We proactively go into these regions to really understand them. And Africa is not Africa, it's 54 nations. LATAM is the same. Even within Kenya, you have Kisumu County, Mombasa County, Naivasha County. Each one is autonomous. Each one has a budget. Each one has opportunities and specialities. So again, and they could be in energy, in retail, FMCG, in logistics, communication, even marketing, social media requirements. So of course, and we as a chamber also participate in exhibitions, trade missions, and gather intelligence reports. Now, if you look at the map, we started in 2012 with one office right in the center, right above our region in Azerbaijan. Now we've expanded across the globe. So we have 2 offices in China, one in Mumbai, in India. In China, of course, we have one in Shanghai, the commercial capital, and one in the Silicon Oasis of China, which is Shenzhen, very close to Hong Kong. It's going to really grow a lot with what's happening. Of course, in terms of Eurasia and Central Asia and the Russian Federation, we have an office based in Azerbaijan. Now, these offices are not anchored, they're just anchored physically in their respective cities and countries, but some of them cover the wider region in activities. So if you go further west to Africa, we have 2 offices in East Africa, one in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, which has 100 million in population and has a lot of positive activities happening now. It's really emerging. Of course, we have another in Kenya to also support the East African activities that we cover and the information that's coming out. If you go further west and south, we have an office in Mozambique covering the Southern Africa or the SADC region. And then further west on the Atlantic Ocean coast, we have an office in Ghana for Western Africa. Now, shifting to Latin America, we have an office in Argentina, covering Argentina, Peru, Chile, and some of the neighboring countries. We have an office dedicated just for Brazil in Sao Paulo. And of course, further north in Central America, we have the Panama office, which covers Central America and a little bit of the Caribbean. And soon we're setting up in Mexico City. Now, the office's targets are 20 offices. So we're going to grow our network in Africa, definitely at least 2 offices. We're looking at in the Caucasus region at Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, the Russian Federation. That needs more population. And of course, the ASEAN region. Where we are is where we think the opportunities are, but also where the challenges are. But Africa alone has 1.2 billion people. Latin America has a huge consumer base as well. China, India, these are all tough markets that sometimes you might say, look, too difficult. I've been pampered in Dubai. I'm a bit spoiled. Everything comes to me. But now it's COVID time. Now it's an emergency time where you actually have to sharpen your knives, sharpen your tools, and go out. And this is where, if you're a member, you could pay up to 1,200 to 2,200 dirhams a year. Now, you could say that's expensive or cheap based on your point of view. But if you calculate what the cost of one business development manager, I think that is cheaper than the visa of a business development manager when you hire them, just the visa. If you go to the cost of salary and then testing them and finding out and the commitment, and then maybe it doesn't work out. This is a lot of overhead for a startup. By being a member, you have access to all these markets. You don't even have to travel. You can pick up the phone, you can send an email, you can ask for help, you can ask for connectivity. And I'm going to share a few examples of how we help people into these markets. And that's why I didn't want to be very geographically specific, because there are many different opportunities, and people see Dubai as a great hub where things get tested, things get tried, technology gets brought in, R&D technology to real life applications, and it really connects here. And we're very well connected, especially to our region, the Middle East, Africa. People know Dubai. It's an aspirational brand. So anything that succeeds here, hopefully all of you can really be looked very highly upon as a brand, and they would like to attract it from Dubai in many different areas, whether it's a product, a service, an innovation, a technology, whether it's in the private sector or the government sector. Now, don't forget, with COVID setting in, it's not about how you did against 2019. It's not just that. We have to recapture a lot of lost grounds, whether you're Emirates, you're Dubai duty-free, or an SME. It's how Dubai and UAE finish the year in relevance to other markets. Other markets have a lot of different pressures. Some of them have high population. Some might have high unemployment. Some of them might have drought years. Some of them may have logistic constraints. And Dubai and the UAE, but especially Dubai, is like a little speedboat that even when countries have pain points, sometimes they need quick solutions. And in the long term, they'll be fine. But Dubai can quickly get in there, whether it's logistics, technology, trade, and so on and so forth, to really solve life's problems. Because you've seen the world has become a very tough place, not just in terms of health safety. Some places have protests, some places have a little bit of a challenge. There are always opportunities when you see these challenges of how we can assist and help through this very fast ecosystem of business. Now, like I said, the ways that you can tap into the world is numerous. You can look at just sourcing material. If you're looking for certain semi-finished goods, raw materials that you want to bring in, we can help you with that. We have many markets that produce this. If you're looking for, of course, sourcing talent as well, or even outsourcing services as well to places that are more cost effective, we can help you with that. If you're looking purely at importing equipment or importing and re-exporting, also we can help you with that. Even we are in touch with places like the Skolkovo Foundation in Russia. We're in touch with the Belarus, very advanced Belarus Techno Park, which has a lot of technologies that Silicon Valley have purchased and procured, but they also have a lot of prototyping services as well that you can work with. Again, this is something also we can connect you with. And of course, we can help you also find export markets, whether it's materials, machinery, expertise, and even services. This is sometimes overlooked. We always talk about trade and investment, but of course, there's promotional service, there's social media and marketing. There's, of course, business process outsourcing. There's tech solutions for e-government. Don't forget, we're very advanced and we're looked upon very highly in what we've done here. We see it as everyday business as usual. Other places come to visit us, like we went to New York, to London, to Europe, to Tokyo, and saw amazing technologies implemented many years ago. Now people look at us this way. So what is normal for us can be very advanced for certain markets. So again, don't forget the expertise. And even tourism. Yesterday, we met with a delegation from Kenya, and they have amazing safari parks there. However, they're saying, look, why aren't you marketing them enough? Well, between the park and the consumer, if we look at how we do things in Dubai, there's a whole supply chain for tourism, whether it's machinery, tour guides, information, transportation, hotels, accommodations, payment gateways, so on and so forth. A full supply, trusted supply chain for tourism that we put when you go into the Dubai experience. Again, we don't feel it because it's normal. It's every day for us. This is something we can actually export. So keep that in mind when you think of solutions, and don't just think of products and machinery and exports of just pure physical items. Know-how is very important, even in the management and education of hospitality, of retail, and so on and so forth. So very quickly, I'll just go over some examples. We worked with a local company here that deals in tires. They have a few franchises. They wanted to connect to the factory owner in China of a few factory owners for tires. Now, if you may not know this, it's very difficult to sometimes connect to the factory owner. They usually have agents. They look like they're from the company. They have offices in the factories, but they are agents. So you might not get the best price. So they came to us. They said, look, we want to meet owners. And maybe they think we're small in size compared to the rest of China and the world, but we want to connect with them to get the best price. What our offices did, they got a list of 100 companies in the specialized region. They shortlisted to 20 companies. They set up meetings with 16 companies. They sorry for the misspelling. There are 3 potential deals. 2 agencies were signed. And a few years later now, I've met with the company and said, Omar, do you know that from this deal, we are now making 300 to 400,000 dirhams profit every month. So this is one example where we could connect with you, understand what you need, and feel around in the market and tailor something for your requirements. Recently, in terms of business protection, now we were talking to a well-known vendor of electronics goods. I won't say the name, but recently they've acquired and purchased some robots from a manufacturer in China. There was an issue, there was technical issues. You would be surprised how language can be such a barrier, and misunderstanding of after sales requirements and culture. And so this is another area where we're explaining to the customers what's going on, explaining to the factory, working with them, and also telling them, well, here's what's likely going to happen. While it's not a legal opinion, an official legal opinion, we always advise people to double check. Sometimes businesses want to get back to business. They want to get the best deal they can and move forward. And so hopefully by having this is something that we're helping a very well-known vendor with Chinese products. And then we could say, look, if you want another robotics company, we may know somebody better, or we know a product that's better or more cost-effective. Recently, after our previous event for Dubai Startup Hub, we connected and learned about a business here in transportation. And they were facing challenges in spare part equipment sourcing. And just now today, I saw an email where our offices have been running around and working, and they said, well, yeah, we just got the message. The products have been shipped. And of course, we can always work with you to find alternatives as well. So now there's a lot of sourcing. A lot of these examples are in sourcing, but there are many different sales areas we can work with you with, whether it's a market you want to enter, a government entity you need to talk with to be more flexible or understanding of your new business, or any other contacts you need to expand your products into new markets. But here's an example where we were in the COVID emergency. As you know, drones were being used to sanitize Dubai. Suddenly, because of some of the issues between China and Hong Kong, there was a change in regulations. And I think it's because that, I can't be sure, that you can't export the drones from Hong Kong. It has to be from the headquarters in Shenzhen, where we were. And so this is where there was a challenge, there was a shutdown, there was only a few meetings taken in the consulate. We talked to the government authorities. We got the Commerce Authority to stamp and approve the agent here to be able to receive exports. We then talked to the company itself, which I won't mention, but you can see some drones here. And we worked all the way till the drones arrived, and then we got a thank you letter again from the agent here in Dubai. So again, also, as you expand, we can help you with policy advocacy. As more and more companies are going out, we're actually kind of grouping them together and starting to understand where their pain points are, where their challenges are. And we are a trusted partner with the government, with the semi-government, with other chambers. So when we take these opinions and send them to the right way on your behalf to the certain partners, this is taken with considerable weight as well, because they know that Dubai Chamber is non-profit. They know that we're trying to connect deals for bilateral relationships. And again, so they will listen. And a lot of the times it's important that they listen to the problems on the ground as you experience them entering into Kenya or Rwanda or Sao Paulo and so on and so forth. So there are many ways I've just highlighted in terms of what you can do. And I want to highlight that don't limit your geographical footprint, saying, okay, my next branch is going to be in Al Ain or in Abu Dhabi or Fujairah. You can leapfrog. Today's technologies and brands are moving faster than ever. If you have a franchise or a product or a model that you can expand quickly or scale up, as Natalia mentioned, there is space to grow in Africa. People, we come up to them and say, look, for example, Mirzam Chocolate, we came to them and said, look, we have a franchisee who wants to take your brand to India. We have one that wants to go to Kazakhstan. We have, and if you're ready as well, whether, to grow your business, this is something where we can connect you with. If you want to do it through a franchising partner, or you want to have a logistics partner as well, or if you want to set up shop yourself, these are areas where we can give you advice. We can even introduce you to lawyers, accountants, people who will guide you as experts as well to get into these markets. So like I said, just give us a call, give us an email. It's easier than you think. And we can give you information on different regions, and you tell us what you're interested in, and we'll try to make it more bespoke, where we don't bombard you with everything, but we'll think of you when there is an opportunity for you. So that's all I have to say. Sorry if I took longer than expected, but I hope you find this useful, and I hope you'll reach out to us very soon.
Thank you very much, Omar. We will now jump onto our interview session, looking at the outcome of some of the joint programs that we've organised, in particular Dubai Startup Hub with DTech this year. I will now hand the mic across to Faisal Shehi, Project Manager of Entrepreneurship, who will be moderating the session. Over to you, Faisal.
Thank you, Kim, and good morning, everyone. Today we are hosting two entities who have joined our entrepreneurship roundtable last year. And throughout their efforts during the event and after the event, they have identified some potential projects that they can work together delivering during this year. So allow me to introduce our panel for today and welcome Hans Henrik, Vice President of DTech. Welcome, Hans. And also we have Natalia Secheva, Senior Manager of Special Projects and Entrepreneurship at Dubai Chamber. Welcome, Natalia. To tell us more, and we are looking to hear more from you guys today about really what was your journey coming together, representing those two entities and delivering those projects. So starting with my first question that I would like to address, how did the two entities decide actually to work together? Any tips you can share during that process, starting with you, Hans?
Thank you very much, Faisal. Yeah, I think what we realized talking to each other was we both had a very open mind. We all had the same goal, and it was just much easier to collaborate. In certain cases, it meant even splitting the bill, So I wouldn't say there's a secret sauce here, but it was basically just realizing that we need to work together to make it happen. And this has been a very, very collaborative, the open, transparent way of working together. It's been very, very fruitful.
Thank you, Hans. Natalia, maybe you want to add something also to the same point?
Yeah, I think what I would just add to what Hans was saying. I think we're very fortunate and truly enjoyed the top management support vested in our collaboration and partnership. We enjoyed the support of Dr. Mohammed Zaruni, His Excellency Mr. Khaled Bouamim, the management have invested into this partnership to become successful. But also when it comes to the team management and teams involved in delivering those projects as signed up by the partnership is about communicating and ensuring that the teams from the both organizations, they have this mentality that it's our true team effort. We are right now one team. It's not about our organization and their organization. It's us being there for each other, stepping in when it's required. So top management support that we enjoyed, and obviously the teams who have been working together as well.
Thank you guys. And with that, right now in 2020, this year, which we have almost ended or coming to an end in December, I would like to ask you to share with us and with the attendees, I'm sure they are interested to learn about what exactly were the different programs that you have worked on delivering together throughout this year, and what actually did you achieve? What were some of the achievements that you have highlighted? Maybe starting with you, Natalia.
Catching us on the spot. What the impact that we've delivered. So I think we can disclose that our partnership is for 2 years, and we, in general, we're committed to deliver on 4 big pillars. And the year 2020, we've started with committing to an ambitious goal to introduce comprehensive, practical, brand new program focused on developing the Emirati talent interested in exploring job opportunities in the private sector or starting their own business. And we have graduated 30 fantastic finalists who collectively committed to create 150 jobs in the local market in the year 2021 that we're very much proud of. The second program that we stepped in and have been working on for some time already throughout 2020 is the development and introduction of the detailed Dubai Startup Outlook report that could provide a practical, comprehensive information to anybody, investor, startup, entrepreneur, based both locally and internationally, who is still contemplating about how to enter the MENA region. So, but definitely we had to do quite a bit of iteration throughout 2020 because the environment has been changing so quickly with the new measures, with the new laws, regulations announced, and obviously with the market dynamic. But hopefully we'll be releasing it very, very soon. The final touches underway. And definitely 2 more programs that we look forward to introduce in 2021.
Yeah, no, what we didn't see this year, which is also something that we very much like to do together, is go on roadshows. Really get out there, get the hands dirty, talk to people around the world. Like in 2019, we managed to do a roadshow in India, which is obviously a huge market for us, for TTEC especially. And collaborating with each other on that just made it so much easier, so much more fun. And you know, the results for us were that there was several more Indian companies coming to us, exactly what we want, exactly on the spot, attracting FDI to Dubai. So I hope that we'll be able to do that post-COVID and really start the engines on the road shows again.
Plus, because we have already the infrastructure, and that's what Mr. Omar's presentation was almost nearly a teaser about all these exciting markets and the opportunities, that it's not only entrepreneurs who are aspire to go and explore, it's us, everybody on this call, incubators, accelerators. We are keen to understand those markets and leverage Dubai Chamber's representatives based all around the world to go and identify that cream of the cream and bring them to Dubai.
Yeah, definitely. And engaging more in those roadshows and definitely launching similar reports that could also contribute to do the same. So to wrap up, and before we end our session, I would like to ask this question: if there would be a key learning that you have got out of this collaboration during 2020, what would it be? share with us and with the attendee today of a key learning that you think it's an important to keep in mind whenever any two entities, be it two private ones or a semi-government to government and a private one, to keep in mind to successfully collaborate and to launch similar products in the future?
Yeah, as I said, I don't think there's a magic bullet here. I think more it's to keep a mindset of fluidity, of there's more and more talk about leadership, not leadership, from John Malcolm, I think it is the author, and that we just need to be able to adapt to the situation when we're in them. I think that's going to be the new norm. Things are changing. Things have been changing enormously this year, but still we were able to pull off the Emirati training, the report, and whatnot. And I think if you find someone that has this same mindset, you can move mountains. And so if you have that mindset, then we are definitely the ones ready to collaborate.
Well, from our side, I will support for everything what Hans has just said and articulated. I will just add that it's about also the pragmatism, that we stepped into the partnership having very clear and articulated expectations from each other, including having the open mind and being agile and adaptive, and so that a year and 2 years down the line, we sit together and using quantitative, qualitative assessment, we can say that this partnership has been truly successful.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you, Hans. I'm sure our attendees and partner entities will have some maybe questions to share during the open discussion, or maybe also some opportunities for further collaboration. Thank you. And Kim, the mic is back to you.
Thank you very much, Faisal. And we will just go back onto our presentation now. So thank you both to Hans and Natalia for sharing the insights. Dubai is making headway in its mission to become a leading fintech hub, and driving this mission is DIFC's Fintech Hive, here to support startups. And please join me in welcoming our next speaker and first ecosystem partner, Raja Al-Mazuri, Executive Vice President of DIFC Fintech Hive, who will be sharing her insights on operating in such a challenging year and shedding light on what's coming in 2021. Raja, the mic is yours.
Hi, good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me today to showcase the DIFC Fintech Hive and the role the Fintech Hive is playing in enabling a fintech ecosystem for the region and the opportunity for Dubai to be leading at the forefront of it. The Fintech Hive was launched back in 2017. As we have seen the opportunity of technology transformation across sectors, and how the technology was reshaping all of these industries, and the opportunity of transforming/disrupting the financial services sector was also an opportunity that the DIFC wanted to lead as the leading global financial hub in the region, with more than 2,500 companies operating from Dubai. Do I have control over the screen? Thank you. If you look at 2006 to 2020, you can see a major shift from diverse industries and sectors towards technology. And the technology today is dominating and obviously creating opportunity for transformation and new sectors for startups to actually take the lead towards innovating in these sectors. What is fintech? Obviously, the fintech landscape is huge. And if we really look at the opportunities within the financial services sector, we see the opportunity to transform lending, blockchain, crypto, regulatory technology as in RegTech. Personal finance has become more important payments and billing, especially with the impact of COVID and the pandemic, has become revolutionized by contactless or cashless. Insurance sector has been also exposed to the transformation, with the whole pandemic affecting all of these insurance contracts, and personal insurance has become very important. Capital markets as well, wealth management, money transfer and remittance, which is a really big opportunity of transformation, since also the UAE holds one of the most active regions in the world for money remittances. Mortgage and real estate as well is another area of transformation that is open to the fintech technology. The Middle East opportunity is consistently growing. And if we look at the market drivers, we see that from the Middle East, we have actually access to unbanked population of more than 80%. SME lending is less than 50% of the global average. E-commerce transactions were expected to quadruple by 2022, but I think that number must have changed by now. And more than 1 in every 2 customers wants to go digital. And really, with the COVID implication and the transformation and evolution in all of these transactions, and the consumers had the chance to interact on the digital level, which actually shifted the consumer behavior to digital, and they will not really go back to the traditional way of transactions. There are 67 fintech unicorns valued at more than 200 billion around the world, and really our ambition is to create a hub for fintech in Dubai, in the DIFC, with the support of the ecosystem partners here, and to really start to see unicorns grow out of the DIFC and capture the Middle East opportunity that we have just spoken about. Most of these unicorns are backed by at least 2 financial services institutions, which means that the financial institutions are aware of the disruption, are aware of the power that this technology is bringing forward, and also are aware of the power of these startups, the way of their thinking, and the way they are able to integrate this technology forward. So we see the buy-in from the financial institutions into these technology platforms are moving forward and actually supporting these innovations. Quickly about the DIFC FinTech Hive, we offer acceleration programs, we offer corporate innovation programs, we provide co-working spaces for startups, licenses and regulations to operate from the DIFC, and we have access to a great community that is focused on fintech, that looks at investor relationships, community events, women empowerment and engagement in financial services. Over the last few years, we have accelerated more than 110 startups through our different acceleration programs. More than 70 proof of concepts were launched in the market. We work with more than 65 partners, and we have more than 230 registered fintechs in the DIFC, which is more than 50% of the region are actually in the DIFC. Our startups collectively raise more than $150 million in funding, and we have countless mentorship sessions where we connect the startups with industry experts from the financial services and technology sectors to help them shape their technology and take it forward. As I mentioned, the IFC have more than 2,200 companies registered. It's the 8th best global financial center by GFCI. There are more than 24,000 people operating from the DIFC, and the DIFC launched a $100 million fintech-focused fund to invest in fintech startups all over the world, with the support of an independent financial regulators and a court system that enables the international standards of conducting business from the UAE. Just a quick look at where our startups come from. As you can see, they come from all over the world, but there's a very big chunk of them that are from the UAE. And most of the ones that you see from the UAE are either organically from the UAE, or these are global startups that saw the opportunity and decided to set up and establish from the UAE, leveraging on the ecosystem that we have put in together to support their growth and development. So we accelerate startups across all areas of fintech, insurtech, regtech, and we have a special focus on Islamic fintech with the support of Dubai Islamic Economic Development Center, who are working towards making Dubai the capital of Islamic economy. We have a global network of 16 fintech hubs around the world. So what we try to do is to connect with these fintech hubs to know about the latest fintech technologies from all over the world, tap into their resources, and also connect the startups from the fintech hive with business opportunities across the world. And we've also built a female accelerator program. We call it Accelerate Her, to support engaging more women in financial services and innovation. This year, we've had more than 12 mentorship pairings with 12 financial institutions. It was an 8-month program, dedicated workshops and accelerator sessions, because we see the opportunity that fintech is really bringing for startups and for entrepreneurs who can plug into any of the ecosystem opportunities by a license, operating from home, raising funding, and really developing this technology from the comfort of where they live. This year, the program expanded. We've received more than 100 applications for the Accelerator program. We've selected 14 finalists, and we've had 36 mentorship pairings with industry leaders, and dedicated workshops and accelerator shadow sessions for these women. So we accelerate companies, and we as well support the creation of talent. We work with the region's largest corporates on innovation. As you can see, these are our partners that have been part of all of the innovation programs that we've conducted, and it's financial institutions across different sectors. So what is the value of partnering with the IFC FinTech Hive? Obviously, the IFC FinTech Hive has been recognized within a year as the 10th global FinTech hub globally. And that was because of the ecosystem that we've created in a very short time, but we also leveraged on the DIFC position and relationships and credibility to enable these relationships. So we can see recognition as part of the fintech ecosystem. Also, we enable companies, transform company cultures to innovation and collaboration mindset, and that's where the future is really going. We enable direct collaboration with startups to facilitate adoption aligned to institutional needs. We facilitate corporate innovation programs to accelerate business growth across different sectors. We have access and exposure to a global fintech network, and we work with our partners looking at the whole industry and not only a specific area. And this is the value the partners bring into the room, different ideas, and then we look at what's happening globally and regionally and identify the trends and opportunities for our region through this exercise. We have a strong ecosystem that we have connected with law firms, investment firms, technology companies, regulators, government entities, and this ecosystem can definitely grow with the support of Dubai Startup Hub and the other ecosystem partners, because the opportunity of really expanding this opportunity and is very valuable for all of the partners. So we host our Investor Day. We actually hosted it 2 weeks ago. Although it was virtual for the very first time, we've had more than 650 attendees online for more than 1.5 hours, attending the whole event. And we've leveraged on technology to create the virtual booths where the startups actually had the opportunity to network and discuss business opportunities and investment opportunities with partners without even having to fly to Dubai to be physically here. So quick look back in 2017, we started in 2017, we had about 100 applications, and we've selected 12 startups, and we launched 6 proof of concept engagements with these partners. Fast forward to 2018, you can see we've received 300 applications, we've selected 22 finalists and engaged in 20 proof of concepts. 2019, we've actually managed to get 420 applications. This was our biggest cohort ever. We've selected 31 startups to join our program and launched more than 30 proof of concepts during this engagement. And in 2020, we've managed to manage the whole engagement virtually. We've received more than 620 applications, and we've selected 17 startups to join the program. Quick case studies. Sarwa is one of the FinTech Hive companies that joined us with an MVP at the level. And today they are very well known in the UAE and expanding as we speak to Saudi. It's a robo-advisor that enables young individuals to invest their small amount of their income into different investment portfolios. They've grown to 8,000 users to date, and their platform is both in Arabic and English, and they have been able to penetrate the young sort of individuals with investment opportunities. Next one is Norblock, and most of you must have heard about Norblock. It's a KYC on the blockchain solution. It's a 2017 accelerator participant, and today they have many engagements in the region. More than 5 financial institutions in the UAE are on their platform. The DIFC is using their platform for KYC verification, and Dubai Economic Department in partnership with Mashriq Bank also use the same platforms to enable the quick verification of the KYC.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Raja. I know that you have a number of other case studies, so I think what we'll do is we'll share these with the audience after the session, because I'm sure they will want to have a read through of the success stories coming out of the FinTech Hive. So I believe this was your final slide after the case studies, right? If you wanted to add any final remarks.
I would like to thank you all for listening to my presentation, and feel free to reach out with regards to any opportunity that we could support in. I believe today is, and this time is really important because of the whole digital transformation across platforms, the different licensing option that Dubai is providing, the different opportunities and access to funding that is available today in Dubai is more than ever very attractive for startups to come and start here.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Raja. And it's always interesting to hear what is going on over in DIFC FinTech Hive. Thank you again. We will now hear from our second ecosystem partner presentation by Claudia Mortimer, COO of STEP, who will tell us a little more about hosting STEP conference this year and what the plans are for next. Over to you, Claudia.
Thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone. It's great to join today. I think I just want to spend some time more on how we've had to adapt, obviously, over the past 8 months, and maybe touch on some challenges and you know, some of the things that we've seen from our stakeholders. For those of you who don't know STEP, though, to briefly go through this, we've been hosting STEP conference in Dubai, which is, I guess, the brand that mostly everyone knows. For the past 9 years, we started in Make Business Hub, for those of you who have been in Dubai or know the early co-working spaces in 2012 with a very small workshop. And Up to now, which is about 9 years later, next year will be our 10-year anniversary. But STEP conference in Dubai has grown to 2 days, over 7,000 attendees, from different parts of the world, and a lot of programming going on. So if we just continue to the next slide, Kim. So like I mentioned, it's been 9 years since we've been running STEP conference, and a bit about the other products that we've built over the past couple of years. We launched STEP Saudi in 2019 in Riyadh. It was our first, you can call it, expansion in terms of where we're physically present. We've only had the STEP conference in Dubai up until that point. We also have STEP Feed, which is our editorial and media arm, as well, a more millennial targeted platform with content about the modern Arab world. And we also have what we call STEP Labs, which is more of a B2B services kind of provider as part of the company, with the expertise we've built in the startup ecosystem, our network, and a production know-how. We've been able to, help other entities run different events and programs as well over the years. So I was just discussing this with Kim. We were one of the lucky ones. We held STEP conference in February this year. I think like 2 days later, everything escalated in terms of COVID, but it was our biggest year yet, not only just in terms of numbers, but also we had a strategy to really focus on more of the emerging markets instead of just, MENA region. So we did have an increase of attendees from India, Pakistan, from parts of Asia. We did have, some attendees that are coming from China that canceled last minute. But it was really, that big leap forward that we were taking in terms of growing the conference. And then, so that was February. And then March hit. We had, many plans for the rest of the year in terms of projects we were working on that obviously got canceled. But luckily enough, nothing was supposed to happen until STEP Saudi, which happens in November. So we had time, you could say, that there are different things we had to do internally. We had to, cut costs, obviously, mitigate all the risks that, we were facing in terms of, obviously, as a small company, cash flow, etc. So what we did, though, instead of waiting for STEP Saudi to happen in November, we decided to launch another brand, which is STEP Anywhere. And that became our first full virtual conference, and not just talks and panels, but I mean the full STEP, experience virtually, including the startup programming, the pitch competition, one-on-one mentorship sessions, investor meetings. We had music, we had cooking, we had, basically all different elements for those of you who know STEP in terms of the physical event, but online. Some challenges with that, many challenges, but a few things to highlight. We obviously had to educate our sponsors mostly, and, exhibitors who are usually used to these, big conferences where they have a big, nice physical booth, and the aesthetic as well is something that people take very seriously. So one of the things that we saw as an opportunity, and definitely, caught on to that and adjusted our offering, is one, lead generation. So usually with any event, someone has a booth, they'll try to get people to come to their booth or sign up for something, but we proactively now started working with partners to understand who they want to meet, and also setting up one-on-one meetings with them during the event. So that's something that we actually added, to our rate card, you can say. So education of sponsors was one thing. Obviously, we had to adjust our pricing. Everything became a bit like approximately 1/3 of our ticket prices sponsorship packages and whatnot. And, you know, a lot of free events were happening at that point, you know, free webinars, other free conferences. So we're now competing even more with, you know, in our space, not just with physical events, but even also with Web Summit, because now you can attend Web Summit, you know, online, or, you know, different other conferences like South by Southwest or the Next Web. So this is a new, I guess, competition angle as well, that we still have to deal with. So from the startups perspective, I think, you know, not to go into, you know, too much detail, but there are the obvious startups that we've seen in the industries that, you know, are growing now or have taken more importance, like ed tech and health tech. Food tech, you know, that's another big thing, and you know, we have an announcement coming up about a food tech conference that we're launching next year. But you know, we definitely saw an increase in even mental health startups like Takalam, for example, that are gaining traction. So. The good thing is we didn't have an issue attracting people. I think people were hungrier to connect, obviously, because, you know, like Natalia was mentioning before, everybody's looking for leads, for sales, partnership opportunities, raising funding. So, you know, there definitely was, you know, a good outcome from being proactive and doing this in August rather than waiting for our next event. The other thing, though, is we have really shifted to a virtual event strategy, with the exception of our Dubai event. But we will be introducing more smaller events focused on what the startup ecosystem needs, like Step Match, which we already did an edition, and that connects startup founders with you know, ex-stakeholders. So the first edition we did was with seed stage investors. The next edition might be with service providers. Next edition might, you know, be for talent or whatnot. So this is something that we're going to be working on more now, and we wouldn't be able to do that, you know, if we couldn't do all these events virtually. So this is a positive aspect for us. So yeah, so then, you know, November happened, and we obviously had Step Saudi virtually as well. Step Saudi focuses specifically on the Saudi market. So we had Saudi startups, Saudi speakers, Saudi ecosystem partners, and obviously attendees that are interested in the Saudi market. So that's, you know, the different aspect than our usual events. So I think, yeah, well, just one of the things to mention in terms of 2021, you know, we obviously see other players that are, you know, going back to their physical events, and we're very bullish though about keeping our virtual event strategy. We're not gonna go back to trying to just launch physical events anymore. We're using this opportunity. We had to obviously adapt our operating model, obviously in terms of our team, where our offices are located. We're remote first. I'm in the office today, by the way, but we're all working from home. Luckily, we already had a team in Beirut. We have, you know, a team member in Pakistan. So we've always already been, you know, a remote company. But, you know, when we had, you know, mostly physical events, we had to be on the ground, but that's not the case anymore. So we do come into the office maybe once a week or for a meeting, but we're completely remote first now, which is great because, you know, that gives us access as well to talent, and also to work in an even more flexible manner. So in terms of next year, we will continue the Step Match series. So if anyone has any ideas, any key pain points, you know, they're saying startup founders are looking forward to connect, besides obviously raising money, you know, we're happy to hear them and try to organize something around that. We will have our talent event as well, startup founders, you know, and job seekers for those who are interested in working in startups. We will have Step Anywhere still as a brand. We introduced it. It's not going to go away. This is something that will continue to happen. Step Saudi, as I mentioned, and FoodX. So FoodX will be interesting. I guess this is the first scoop because we haven't announced it yet, but I'm sure you guys have all seen all the, besides food security issues, there's, massive interest and traction in terms of agri-tech, and legislation around it and funding. So this is something that we will go into in terms of expansion as an industry vertical event for STEP, which is also the first type of event we've done in terms of a completely focused industry. So we're really excited about it, and this is something that'll happen in March. So keep a lookout for that. I think these are mostly the things I wanted to mention. It's just nice that we've been able to, adapt and not wait for, our next event. By doing an event early on virtually, it actually helped us to understand what's going on in the market from a sponsorship perspective, from startups, from investors. And obviously us adapting our logistics, because that's also less walking. So my Apple Watch isn't happy, but it's really something that we've had to completely, revamp in terms of how we operate as a company as well. So yeah, if anyone, has any input or insights as well, for us, it's now more about doing more of these events, but focused on, addressing a pain point in terms of doing more large conference formats, if that makes sense, besides the ones that we've already introduced as brands. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to me, and thanks to Dubai Startup Hub as well for having me.
Thank you very much, Claudia, for joining us this morning. Much appreciated. This brings us to the last part of our program, where we're going to open up the floor for an open discussion. We invite you all at this stage just to unmute yourself and turn on your cameras. You should be able to do this now. And Natalia, would you like to start the session?
Yeah, well, let me volunteer. So I think I will start with, I think a few comments and a question, right? So my first question will be actually, I will revert to Faisal, because Faisal, you have been working with Omar Khan on quite a bit of international engagements this year. You have been running the Dubai Technology Tour, bringing amazing 15 scale-up companies from India to Dubai. So the question is, because I'm not sure whether it came across very straight from Omar's presentation about how incubators, accelerators could benefit from international offices of Dubai Chapter.
Yes, thank you, Natalia, for this question. And we had the opportunity this year to host the first online delegation from India to Dubai, where we had around 15 scale-ups in fintech and health tech industries join in, and definitely moving in the forward to the future. We are looking to do and host more of such events, and now since we managed to do it once virtually, so there's no excuse for not to keep doing it virtually, as we can do more frequent engagements such as those. So definitely, so during such activities, we look forward to partner and work together with as many as entrepreneurship ecosystem partners as we can. We had the opportunity to work with the IFC during this year. We had also Dubai Healthcare City who have joined us as well, and we would like to use this platform to open the door for all the other entities and welcome them to join us during such initiatives. We'll definitely, from our end, as we plan, we will be reaching out to you, but also from your end, if there are any specific markets you would like us to look at or to focus on, please do let us know. Reach us out through both channels, our Dubai Startup Hub channel and also our international offices relation, and I'm sure we'll be able to share Omar Khan's contact also with all of you after the session.
Thank you, Faisal. And I think one of the finalists of this tour, it's actually, he just got the office space, the lab, and he's bringing the scientist to DIA. So Veronica, I think you actually became the recipient, on the recipient side of this that initiative, and the guys are actually settling very nicely in your premises right now. Ajit, founder Ajit from company Comcom. So I think I would like to go back to what Claudia was saying, that first of all, Claudia, congrats on the food-specific event. Definitely something that I think it resonates with many of us. Within Market Access, we actually were scouting health tech aquaponic startups to bring to the Middle East, because the corporate companies in Dubai are very keen to actually invest in, although they are not agri company, not in the business, but they're keen to see the startups with such solution. And actually it's not easy. We don't have on the ground so many, right? As of today, we don't have so many agri-tech companies. So it will be very interesting, and we'll be definitely following what you're going to do with food tech. And from our side, as a Dubai Chamber, Dubai Startup Hub, definitely step match. We are very keen to see how we can potentially collaborate in terms of the co-founder Dubai program that we ran a year before, and we will be bringing back the cycle in 2021. So let's see. I'm not sure whether your time frame will work for us for Jan, because we were planning it a little bit later, but maybe we could work out the format and engagement around step match for the co-founder Dubai as well.
Yeah, we're planning to run it almost monthly even with different themes, so definitely something.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Let's see, maybe we can plug in and do something together in a co-founder space. So,
Saeed, we have Saeed from N5. Saeed, maybe you would like to share with us more about what N5 is up to, and if you have any specific points for what the different speakers have shared today.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you guys for a great session. Actually, I actually enjoyed it, and I've heard a lot of you guys speaking, and some of you we have been in contact. And I would say, I think the past 11 months have been challenging, but from our side, as like you guys, we have been active. We didn't stop, even though some regulations and slowed us down, but we continue to provide the entrepreneurs with what they need. And it's interesting from a numbers perspective. When it comes to N5, we have seen the number of people actually opting to become entrepreneurs and startups more than the previous years. So our numbers actually have gone up comparing to the amount of maybe job losses and so on. So this was an interesting number that we have seen. And also the amount of investment. I think, we have around, I think, more than 150 million when it comes to investment. And this has come in the past 11 months. Some would argue and say, okay, these conversations have been, people have discussed this before the pandemic, and these deals were announced, but still we still have the good numbers to show. And recently, I think, which is great, Tabi has raised more than 100 million in investment, so around 30 million in total when it comes to investment. This was announced a few days back. So I would say that end of the day, in my personal opinion, is that startups will follow business. They will, even though funding is one requirement, but they will always follow businesses. And this is why Dubai will continue to become the place for startups to stay. So I've a lot of people, I know that a lot of startups are getting good packages going to Abu Dhabi, but a lot of them actually want to stay with us in our premises and continue to stay in Dubai because their business is still in Dubai. Okay, so other than that, I don't have much. I just wanted to share this one, and I'm happy to collaborate with I've already collaborated with some, and I will continue to do that. And I've heard Claudia talk about the matchmaking and so on. We can discuss this one, how we can support. I know we've worked together when it came to the previous step online. But yes, let's discuss and work together in order for us to, continue. And thank you guys, great job for pulling this event. And I would like to have more of these so we can discuss as an ecosystem in Dubai. Thank you.
It's very interesting. Thank you. It's actually in the past, obviously, months, we have been very busy in discussion and conversation with Israeli innovation ecosystem. And the common theme was the In5 already spoke with them. So good job, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Being very proactive.
I think we need to follow the vision of Dubai of being as agile as possible and as fast as possible. And that's great. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. So
we have Dana, we have Wissam, Hans. If you would like to share your perspectives as well, please feel free to unmute and.
Hi everyone. So I'm always nervous about just randomly unmuting because that's always when everyone else unmutes and everyone tries to talk at the same time. But it seems it's just me now. First, thank you to the Dubai Startup Hub team for arranging this. It was really nice. It's one of the few interactive virtual sessions that I've attended during COVID, believe it or not. All others were sort of, quiet attendance, let's say. So this is really nice. And I do hope, just as I just mentioned, I do hope there is more of this to really bring us together. To have the ecosystem more connected and just well informed of what is happening with one another. I don't have anything specific to add. I just want to say that a lot of the sentiments that were mentioned in the beginning, specifically around what you saw with your specific start or your respective startups, both regionally, locally, or internationally, that I do agree with a lot of that, and we saw it. I don't know how many of you guys here are familiar with Expo Live, but we, as part of Expo 2020 Dubai, have a grant program where we support social innovation around the world. We do have some of our portfolio, of course, is based in the UAE or the wider MENA region, but a lot of it, and most of it, I would say, is still international. And this time, more than any other time, it was just interesting to see that regardless where they are in the world, the struggles, there were certain trends in the challenges or struggles that the startups faced. But then also an overarching, let's say, trend was the resilience that we saw in all of them. Some of them had more unfortunate contextual circumstances, let's say, which did not allow them to move forward or force them to really, I don't want to use the word shut down because I believe that post-COVID, there is still hope for all of them, but to kind of put their operations on hold. And that's unfortunate, but that's also the reality that we had to face in 2020. Whereas others managed to sort of pick up and relocate if they had to, or completely diversify their business model if it means that this is the one way that they can continue to operate, or put their existing core operations on hold and start to offer or start to have different offerings for the year of 2020, just to ensure that they can keep going until life post-COVID is, or until we all manage our new normal, let's say, and then they can really pick up where needed. So I think that was the most impressive thing that we had to learn in 2020. I think what's helped them along the way is to see that even the corporations such as ourselves also had to go through this pandemic. And just as Natalia, you mentioned in the beginning, I mean, you showed us these lovely photos of the team and then how you guys had to really manage differently throughout this time. And of course, we all had to do that. And I think for our startups to see that we were on the same boat, obviously different scale, but similar situation, I think that was as well an indirect motivation for them, that they as well, of course, the corporations such as ourselves are going through changes, having to manage. And so we will too, us as startups will also do it. And they most certainly did. So I just wanted to reiterate on that point that was mentioned at the beginning. And again, just a second thank you to the team. It was lovely.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Dana. Well, the sentiment and the upbeat spirit was supported by very much in the local ecosystem by Entrepreneur Middle East. So Wissam, how's the business? How you would like us all on this call to work with you in the 2021?
Hi guys, thank you. and Faisal for the hard work that you have put in delivering this today. And congratulations, Natalia, on your promotion. It's very well deserved. We basically try to work with everyone in the ecosystem in a way to support the end users or the people that read our products, which are the entrepreneurs in the UAE. And one few things we noticed with everyone was, I think we heard it from many people, was the lack of financial aid and financial support that they were getting. And but I think by today everybody kind of got over it. In some sort of way, they had to pivot and they had to do some cuts and they had to stop the things that were not working for them and try to adapt, basically. Someone says, don't let a good crisis go to waste. And I think we all learn to live and adapt with the situation. And what I would like, me and I'm sure many other people in the ecosystem who are publishers, would be the chance to work with all of you guys to develop something, a kind of a way to be able to support the startups, whether mentally, whether physically, whether with like maybe a conversation, to show them that we care about their well-being as well as their businesses in the future. And I think like everyone in this country, we all had to slowly but surely get on our feet, and and we got a lot of support, if you want, from the government, but maybe not financial support like in Europe or in the States or in Canada, but we got enough support, at least for us, to be able to feel like, okay, I can get the healthcare I might need, I can get the cleanliness that I expect in places and so on. For businesses, however, it was a bit tough, and I think the community kind of stood together, and the ecosystem stood together, and where people could help, they did. And I think what we need to do in the future is to be more present and more loud when it comes to saying we will support, and show these people how we can support them. From our side, we tried as much as we can through our media to give whatever discount or whatever free stuff the some of the startups needed, and we still do. And you mentioned earlier the agility in doing things. Tonight we're hosting the Enterprise Agility Awards, tomorrow night, sorry. And we're very excited, and we look forward to continuing in working together with you, with the chamber, and with all the ecosystem. We worked with DTEC a lot this year as well. Thank you very much, DTEC. And we look forward to more in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Wissam, and hopefully you will keep us posted with all the upcoming events that you will be hosting and initiatives as well that you run through Entrepreneur Middle East. I think Hans will be next.
Hans, yeah.
Yeah, sure. Also, thank you, Wissam, for your kind words. We very much would like to continue working with you guys. It has always been a pleasure. I just want to bring a short perspective, very global perspective to where are we? Now, this year was a year that was so dramatic in many ways and made a lot of countries look inwards, just taking care of themselves, trying to save themselves and their business and their economies. Now, luckily, inflation is still very low, at a low point, which means that governments around the world, they can still borrow phenomenal amounts and pump them into the industry. This is something that is harder to be done here in Dubai, so whereas we would very much have liked to help startups even more, we were bound by by the size of our balance sheet to a certain extent. But it does mean that we need to do an even better job in attracting FDI from abroad. We need to be better. We need to be more agile. The competitors or our competitors around the GCC are shaping up. I heard that it only takes a few minutes to set up a company in KSA, for instance. Unless we want money to flow in that direction, we really need to up our game to continue to be the best spot for money abroad. I have seen a huge, let's say, downturn in the number of accelerators and incubators worldwide. It hit us as well. We kind of put our accelerator and incubator on hold for this year, and we're definitely going to start something next year. But it was kind of, the interaction that you get in an incubator and an accelerator is a physical one. And unless you can do that, it's quite hard to create a virtual one. They are popping up, but we very much like the physical contact. So hopefully next year that will materialize again. But my message is we need to do a better job, and we need to work more together. We cannot think in silos. Together, we will be much more stronger, and we will be able to move a lot more mountains together. And we just saw how it worked between DSOA and Dubai Chamber, which on some points were working very closely together, and with the Entrepreneur Middle East, where we even pivoted completely without real XR, which was an experiment. It worked pretty well, where you have an avatar instead of yourself walking to. So you still have a semi-virtual, or semi-physical interaction with an event. So we are experimenting with this, and we need to work together even more. One other thing I want to say is I am very happy with the resilience that I have seen in the startup industry. I thought in the beginning of the year I was close to the point where I was in panic mode, where I thought, the startups usually with a very short cash range will not be able to survive these times, but they have. And just like with In5 and DRFC, we have seen even more startups than we used to. Maybe there's an overflow effect of other companies or layoffs, where people then say, okay, I will then start my startup now. But I do also think there are people that have been waiting overseas and said, maybe this is the best time to start a startup. We also have a lot of international startups coming up. So where there's crisis, as Wissam said, there's also opportunity, and we need to seize this opportunity. It will not stop here. It will continue, and there will be other challenges that we haven't thought of that we need to face next year. Thank you very much.
We don't know what 2021 will look like, so we are yet to discover.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would like to share next? I think Lana.
We have Lara, yes.
Lara, yes. Lara.
Hi, this is Lana from C3, Companies Creating Change. And I just wanted to thank you all for this very insightful webinar. And it's actually really beneficial for all of us and for the sector in general. And I think this would be an amazing idea to keep doing on a regular basis, the roundtables with all of you. And actually, I just want to highlight the importance of social impact, because this is our main focus. And I just want to say, like most of the startups that you talked about, lots of social entrepreneurs found lots of opportunities and were able to still grow and find ways to manage throughout the crisis, throughout the COVID-19 crisis. And I think this is where all of us can, help support those entrepreneurs and also just like coordinate our efforts so we can avoid duplication and become more effective as an ecosystem in general. So thank you.
Lana, are you running another HSBC accelerator next year?
Yes, we are running another HSBC accelerator and it should be launching around February, March.
Okay, awesome. Keep us posted.
Yes,
because we
definitely.
can transfer a number of, because we are running Smartpreneur competition, and with this competition we have identified, we received about 300 applications with a top 50 fantastic companies who could benefit from the full-fledged accelerator like yours.
Definitely, we'll definitely share it with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think we have Mohammed and Essa.
Asa.
Yes.
Just before moving, Kim, I forgot to thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Wissam.
What is their shadow business there?
Mohammed or Aisa, anything to add before we round up the session? I think maybe everything has. Okay, Essa.
Yes, thank you for this great session. Actually, nothing to add. Everything was perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, then, so ladies and gents, I think that brings us to the end of today's roundtable. I will conclude by thanking you all for your participation and support. I hope you have found the presentations and discussions to be insightful. And should you have any further questions, I do encourage you to reach out to the Dubai Startup Hub team. We'll, of course, as always, be happy to assist. And thank you and have a wonderful day. We look forward to working with you more so in 2021.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye, Hans.
Bye.